Hi everybody, it's Soap Man. It is time to cut the spin swirl that I made yesterday, and I'm just not sure about this. By the time you see this, I will have had the making video uploaded. I have not done that just yet. And I watched the video. I always watch it first before I upload it, and man was I messed up. I don't know what was going on. It looked like I was high on something. Of course that's not the case because I don't do drugs, but that was definitely not my best video, and I'm sorry about that. This I don't think is my best soap. I think I had the trace too thin. I really believe I had the trace too thin. It doesn't look bad on top, but one time before, my first Taiwan swirl, the first one I ever made, I had the trace too thin, and I had a result like this. Now, I don't know if can you look at all those air bubbles? Can you see all those air bubbles on top? Really disappointed in that. I unmolded this early. It's only been 18 hours, and this has a lot of liquid oils in it, so it really needed to sit a while. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it because on the bottom of the mold, it was slightly oily, just slightly, but it was slightly oily. Now the ones that I had left over and I poured into the muffin mold, they've turned out fine. They're going to be fine. And actually, this is technically still saponifying. It generally takes approximately 24 hours, for the most part, for saponification to completely quit. I actually took a small shaving of this. It's still pretty soft. Rubbed it on my hand. The skin on my hands is tough. It can take it, so I'm not going to feel it unless it's really strong. Took a little bit, rubbed it on my hands, and the lather was absolutely fantastic. I tried to wash some of these bubbles off, to wash a little bit of the surface off, and they're deeper than I thought, but the lather was absolutely fantastic. And this has a lot of liquid oils in it, which really surprised me that I would have such a great lather. So if this turns out it's going to be okay, it's going to be a great bar soap, because even though it's still saponifying, it has a fantastic lather. So I think it's going to be fine. But my concern is that I am separating, and I think my trace was too thin. I'm cutting it right now because it's been 18 hours. If it doesn't turn out, I can generally shave this down and rebatch it. Like put it in a pot on the stove or in the crock pot with a little bit of water, cook it down, make it sort of semi like hot processed, or it looks like hot processed soap, and go ahead and save the soap. That's why I'm doing this now, cutting it early. So I've scored it already. I'm going to cut it there, there. That'll give me 9 cuts, and I'm going to turn it on the side and get 9 more cuts. So here we go. Let's see how it turns out. This is the only real way to see how it's going to turn out. Is just go ahead and cut it. So here we go. It is soft, but not extremely soft, especially to have this much liquid oil in it and only be 18 hours. Although I added sodium lactate, I bet you that's what it is. I added sodium lactate to help it harden, knowing it had a lot of liquid oils. Okay. Now it doesn't look bad inside, not bad by any means. But it does look to me as though it was too thin, and the swirls just kind of ran together. Now the last time I did this, I did my first attempt at the Taiwan swirl when it was too thin. It was unusable. I would not even try it on myself. I wouldn't even do like the tongue zap test, because it was. I knew as soon as I molded it was messed up. And the next day, it was hard and crumbly. This is not hard and crumbly. This is soft. And I put it in a pot. I didn't even have to shake it down. I put it in a pot and crumbled it up. Put it on a pot on the stove with a little bit of water. Recooked it. And turned out to be great. It was just a solid kind of olive green color. It wasn't real pretty to look at, but it turned out to be great soap, and doing that saved it. So that's why I'm cutting this now. Now I'll show you the cuts in just a minute. As soon as I get my 9 bars here, and we'll turn them on the side, do the horizontal cut, and we'll see what they really look like inside. So far this is just not looking like a good video altogether, because the making video, gosh, I don't know what was the matter with me. But at the same time, folks, I'm an amateur, not a professional. I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm not getting paid for my soap. This is a hobby. I just give the soaps away as part of a community project with the church. So, you know, if you don't like it, don't watch it. It's okay. I don't care. It's fine. I've seen videos I don't care for, and I just don't watch them. I don't go leave a negative comment or that thumbs down. I just go find something else. Alright, here is the true test now. I'm going to go ahead and turn them all on the side just to make sure I don't get confused and cut them wrong. This does look nice inside. It's not what I was expecting. It does actually look pretty nice inside. And if it turns out okay, I will probably just wash the top a little bit more or trim the top. So here's the first true test, cutting it horizontally, sideways. Okay, that is not what I was expecting, but it doesn't look bad by any means. Not bad by any means at all. So actually I think I'm probably going to be alright with this, because it's feeling like soap. I probably did have it too thin, no question. I needed to stick blend just a little bit more, tiny bit more. But actually this looks pretty cool inside. So I'm going to watch it for the next few hours to see if any more oil comes off. I don't think it's going to. I think I'm alright. But I also think I'll do the spin swirl again. Probably use this same recipe, but I'll stick blend just a little bit more. Now friends, okay, here's the top. This is the one that has the air bubbles. Can you see the air bubbles? I mean, that's really not very pleasing. I'm sorry about that. But turn it over and see how nice that looks. So, of course, that's the bottom. That was on the bottom of the mold, kind of plain, but then there it is on the inside. So actually, this is not bad after all. Once again, the top with the air bubbles. I'm going to see if I can wash those off. Although maybe not, but you know, one time in the shower, those will be gone. Actually, I'm glad I went ahead and cut this, because it's hard enough to cut, obviously. I think it's saponified well enough that I don't have to worry about soda ash. I can wash it off if it does, because everything's smooth and slick. That's a really nice one. Now once again, there's the top. Kind of plain, not as vivid, has those air bubbles in it, see that? But then look at the back side. Oh, that's nice. Very nice after all. Glad I went ahead and cut this. Top, kind of boring and holy. The back side, nice. And then once again, the same piece. The other piece, that's the bottom, you know, didn't have a whole lot of definition to it, but on the other side, really nice. So actually, this turned out pretty well after all. Here's a quick view of it. Those are the 2 pieces I had left, or to put up in the muffin mold where I had leftovers. And these have turned out pretty well after all. So this is one to do again, and I think this is a recipe to do again. I was surprised. Generally, when you have a lot of liquid oils, canola oil, olive oil, which I did to keep it thin, you don't have the greatest lather, but so far this is making a fantastic lather. So actually, overall, I'm pleased with this, and I'm pretty sure I'm not going to have to chop this up and rebatch it. I think this is going to make a good bar of soap after all. Thanks for watching. Y'all have a great weekend, and I'll see you next weekend. Goodbye.